Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So this is another video of mine. I'm going to give you an update on US Open 2022. I want to talk a little bit about Serena, a little bit about Rafael Nadal, and also an update on who has better chances of making it to the final on the men's side and the women's side, and who has a chance of winning the championship. Um, so without further ado, I just want to kind of let you guys know that these videos are just made for fun. I just, I feel like I play tennis on the weekends and I haven't played in 3 months, but I'm looking forward to getting back, recovering from an injury. So I'm looking forward to play tennis again, which is a sport that I enjoy playing, other than my runs. So I like running as well. But anyway, so these videos are basically just created casually. I don't care if there is an audience or not. These are just made for fun, just for my family and some of my friends who may be interested in listening to my opinion on the game. Okay? All right, anyway, so I want to talk about US Open 2022, and first of all, I'll start with Serena Williams. She had a great last and final tournament of her career. She did really well, in my opinion. She played well. She showed heart. I know she probably thought that she was going to win a lot more matches. Maybe she would go deep into the tournament, and I don't blame her. She's a champion. She's been winning Grand Slams left and right for the past 2 decades. I think she has about 23 Grand Slam titles to her name, with a lot more Masters titles as well. She's done really well, not just in tennis, with her tennis career, but also outside of tennis. She's become a very successful entrepreneur. She has multiple businesses. Both Serena and Venus, they did really well with their careers on and off the court. And rightfully so, Serena, when asked, during her on-court interview after the match, after the third round match, she acknowledged that her father, she thanked her father, and she was grateful for him and his mother, for all the sacrifices that they made so that their kids could do well, she and her sister could do well. And I could see the emotion. I can sense that. She was very right. In saying that, because I know I've seen the movie King Williams. I think in the last few months, and I know her dad had a very big role, in the success of both the sisters. I mean, he was the entrepreneur and of the family, in my opinion, and rightfully so. She thanked her dad and her mom. I think Venus, when she first burst onto the scene, I could see the difference in women's tennis at that time wasn't as powerful as it is now. I think Venus, you can give all the credit to Venus Williams. Maybe Steffi Graf. I've seen glimpses of power tennis in Steffi Graf's game in the 90s and 80s. But I think Venus definitely took it to another level. So both Venus and Serena are great champions. I wish Serena all the best in her career outside of tennis. But she's a great champion, and I've always really liked her game, as well as her demeanor. Both on and off the court, mostly, except for one time when I think I don't remember the year, but I think she had a on-court she verbally abused on-court in a US Open match, and lost the match, of course, but she was verbally abusive to the chair or lines umpire. And the lines umpire was an Asian lines umpire, and for whatever reason, I mean, that was one of the stains, in my opinion, of her tennis career. One of the biggest stains, in my opinion, of her tennis career. Without that, I think, I had high regard for Serena. Venus was a great player as well, but Serena definitely dominated the female game. She showed power in the game. She showed precision. Her shots were not just brute power, but also she was very precise with the placement of her shots. Her serve was big, and very accurate, just like Venus's serve. I think Venus also had similar, obviously she's a successful champion as well, but she didn't win as many Grand Slams. I think, in my opinion, the biggest reason for that is Venus wasn't as precise, as Serena, in my opinion. She had a better serve, a bigger serve, but I mean, she made too many, she tried to use brute power because she knew she could overpower most of these women across the court. So she used brute power to try and intimidate or win against them. It didn't always work out because she made too many errors because of that reason. Anyway, Serena, great career, great third round match. I would also like to acknowledge or recognize Tomljanovic, who actually beat Serena in the third round match. I think she demonstrated great composure. She played really well. I mean, she was, defensive when she had to, and she was offensive when she had to. I think I'm surprised. I thought she was much younger than she is, but I think she's about 27, 28 or 29, somewhere around there. But I thought she was much younger than that, because with that kind of game and that kind of composure or temperament in tennis, I thought she would have won more championships. So I wish her best in the US Open, actually. Tomljanovic, that's my favorite. But let me talk about Nadal. Nadal had his fourth round match this afternoon against Tiafoe, Frances Tiafoe. Tiafoe has, he had never beaten Nadal until today. He played really well, a great game. So kudos to him. But again, I've been saying, in my previous videos, as well as I've been thinking about it as well, yes, Tiafoe beat Nadal, but Nadal is a 36-year-old champion. Yes, he won 2 Grand Slam titles this year, French Open and Australian Open, and had to withdraw from Wimbledon in the semifinal against Kyrgios because he was injured. So he is technically unbeaten in Grand Slams this year, but still, age is going to catch up. It may be this Grand Slam or next Grand Slam or next ATP Masters, it doesn't matter. It's going to catch up to you. I felt like he didn't have that same quickness or movement like he did in some of his previous matches. And fourth round is actually a little early, in my opinion. If it was a semi-final or something, Nadal probably would have played with a lot more intensity, maybe with a lot more, he would have been better. I don't know, he looked nervous from the first round to me, other than the Richard Gasquet match. I mean, he looked very tentative in some of his matches in second round as well as first round. He lost a set against Fognini and also his first round opponent. He lost a set, of course, first set against Tiafoe today. But he didn't look, Tiafoe continued to hit shots. He played big, his forehand was huge, even his backhand was huge. He was quick, he was able to get to Nadal's balls. You know what I mean. But Nadal, this is what I've been saying, as good as Nadal is, or Djokovic, they're older players now, they're not in their prime. So if you get a player who's like Tiafoe or a Sinner or an Alcaraz, or some of these players that hit the ball really hard, they can hit bombs, and they are pretty quick on the court as well. So if they can move and they can hit with power, they can beat these guys. And it's almost sad for me, when Tiafoe was asked the question how he felt. Of course, he beat Nadal and for the first time. and he felt like he played well. Yes, he did. But Nadal is not the same player. Even though you can argue that he won 2 championships this year, he's not the same player. So yes, you beat Nadal, but you beat a 36-year-old Nadal who probably may not win another Grand Slam, and I know that's silly of me to say, but it's hard. It's hard to win championships because all these draws are luck sometimes. Yes, you get a good player, and they've beaten. Of course, Nadal has beaten several good players to win Australian Open. He beat Medvedev in the final. He beat Djokovic in the semi-final or quarter-final of French Open. So yes, he beat good players, but again, you have to. You're not seeing. Tiafoe played really well, and that's how some of these young players are. They hit big, they can move quick, and Nadal and Djokovic. And if they don't make unforced errors, like Tiafoe, he didn't make many unforced errors. That's what I would like to see in this younger generation or a younger group of players. If they don't want to beat themselves, Nadal and Djokovic or Federer are not going to do that. But you can beat them provided you play your game, but you don't make too many unforced errors and give them easy points. If you do that, you're gone, you're done. So Tiafoe, congrats to Tiafoe, is moving on. But Nadal, what can I say about him? I think, in my opinion, he is the greatest player of all time. We will see if Djokovic will win another Grand Slam in the future, but I think his chances will be slim, and they're going to get slimmer as the years progress. Nadal, I would give him another shot at French Open next year, but I think after that you'll see. Again, I'll keep my fingers crossed, but I think this is it for Nadal. I think he'll stay at 22, maybe 23 if he gets French Open next year. I think Djokovic probably will also end up with 22, and that's it. I think they'll both stay at 22 in my opinion. But anyway, I think I'll go into more detail about who's the greatest of all time and why I feel that way and stuff like that in another video. But before I end this video, let me give you my US Open update on the men's and women's side and who my picks are to win the championship, okay? All right, so on the men's side, I think, Kyrgios has done a great job. I think he's gotten a good draw. Other than the Medvedev match, I think Kyrgios has gotten a good draw. So I'm gonna say Nick Kyrgios and Rublev will play in the. I think they're playing next in the quarterfinal. No. Kyrgios and Rublev will be in the semifinal on the other side of the draw. And Carlos Alcaraz or Sinner, whoever wins that match in the quarterfinal, hopefully they both get to the quarterfinal. They're playing their 4th round match today. But whoever wins that quarterfinal, I think will be in the final. That's just my opinion. So it'll be between Carlos Alcaraz or Sinner. It'll be from this side of the draw. It won't be Kyrgios or Rublev. It won't be that side of the draw, in my opinion. I think Kyrgios has a great shot at getting to the final. But I'm picking Carlos Alcaraz to win it all this time. But if Sinner beats him like he did last couple of times, I think Sinner, it'll be a new Grand Slam champion either way. So that's my pick. Carlos is my pick on the men's side. On the women's side, it's still confusing. I know I picked a few top seeds in the past, but none of those top seeds made it. Jessica Pegula is still there. Swiatek is still there. Sabalenka is still there. Coco Gauff is still there. I don't know if Gauff is ready to. She has the game, but I don't know if she's gonna win. She may, because Emma Raducanu won it last time, and Bianca Andreescu who won it the year before or 2 years before. So I'd be extremely surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Coco Gauff takes it all. If she wins the championship, I think she has the game. Swiatek is not going to be my pick. I don't know. I want Tomljanovic to win the championship, but it's going to be her first championship. But the way she played against Serena, I'm impressed. I think she has a good shot if she plays that way. Caroline Garcia and Danielle Collins are the two other folks on the women's side that I like. either one of those can be in the finals or win it all. I'm sorry, I can't give you one answer. I can't pick one person. I want Tomljanovic to win, but I know it's tough. She may not win it all, but Coco Gauff or Collins on the US side and Caroline Garcia, or Swiatek, they have a good shot at winning the championship on the women's side. All right, guys, until next time, see ya.